Thank you so much. Okay. That is correct.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, he's mute now.
Oh, there he goes.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Okay, we want to reconvene the meeting and come out of executive session. Need a motion to come out of executive session? Martha, Jeremy, all in favor? We'll enter the business part of the meeting tonight for Wednesday, May 19th, 2021. Due to abundance of caution and with regard to the spread of COVID-19 and in accordance with Governor Cuomo's March 12th Executive Order 202.1, tonight's meeting is being held in the District Administration Building and live streamed through Zoom and YouTube. Just an update on meetings. I think we're in conversations to maybe have the next meeting open, pending the guidelines from the state. Next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of meditation. Please keep in your thoughts Edith Truman, former retired teacher in the elementary school for 25 years. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is the privilege of the floor, which is the public comments into the Board of Education. First comment is from Christy O'Hare. Good morning. The comment suggestion box was missing when I voted for the school budget and the Board of Education members at Main Street today. Will an anonymous form/survey be put up on the website so that the community members have the opportunity to share their ideas, suggestions, and compliments with the administrators and the Board of Ed members as they do every year? Thank you. I think that's something we can do. Can we probably get that up on the website? Maybe Christina can get it up on the website?
Well, we know this. We know that, in response to that question, we know that and really trying to stay within the guidelines of having as little contact as possible, social distancing, the whole thing, that, we avoided having a spot where people might have to gather, try and fill out surveys, but certainly, we can put something up where people can respond and make their comments as they have in the past. Well, it's been 2 years, so.
Yeah, I think we'll probably figure out some way to do it digitally.
Okay.
The next comment comes from Patricia Hartley. I would like to commend the high school for last night's award ceremony. It was well organized and fun for the kids. Thank you, Ms. Martin, Dr. O'Brien, and Mr. Barr, and all the faculty and staff who worked hard and had made it a great night. Also, I drop off and pick up my kids daily at the high school, and many people ignore the posted speed limit and drive too fast in the parking lot. Is there a possibility of installing speed bumps in the near future? Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for your comments on the high school. Speed bumps at the high school and into the parking lot. I know our buildings and grounds is looking into that as we
Absolutely.
speak.
Yes, sir.
And we hope to give you an update on that here very quickly.
Okay.
Next comment comes from Jen Conklin. I would like to ask, with many restrictions starting to be lifted, why can't we do better than a drive-up graduation or a moving up ceremony for our 8th graders?
Comment to that?
Yes.
Once again, thank you for your question. Please know that as the guidelines and they continue to relax, that I do know that all our principals have a full out press to have moving up programs as traditional, as normal as they've been in the past. So there'll be some information coming out regarding all the moving up programs from Scotchtown to GIS to the middle school, of course, graduation at the high school. So those guidelines have relaxed quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. We're hoping for new information today, which should even allow a larger office with more flexibility, but a larger audience with more flexibility. So stay tuned for more, but something will be coming out very soon regarding those moving up programs. Thank you.
Next question, also from Jen Conklin. Could we please update the responses to questions on the website? As of 5/13, the most recent answers listed were from 4/6. Thank you.
Once again, thank you for the opportunity to address this question. It's a good question. Many of the questions, certainly in the last week or so, when we knew this could possibly be the case, with the guidelines changing, have changed and actually answered those questions. But in view and review of those questions, we plan to be working on those tomorrow, and along with our public relations specialist, be posting answers to those questions. If in fact anyone has additional questions to the answers that we're going to post, please continue to reach out to us and let us know. We'll try to offer clarification on that. Thank you.
And our last question comes from Jen Conklin. I would like to ask what proactive measures are and will be taken to put pressure on Albany to ensure 5 days a week in person come September for all students? And what measures will the district take to ensure the same? On the board level, I know the board is committed to doing everything we can to return to normal operations in September. I know the administration team is in constant contact with the superintendents across the county and the state to do the same. And I know they are updated very frequently. Would you like to add to that, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Once again, thank you very much for allowing me to jump in here at this time. Yeah, as a group of superintendents in Orange County, we continue to advocate and push for full-time student attendance 5 days a week. We are confident, we are optimistic that with vaccinations now being anyone 12 and older, being eligible to get those, that in the way things continue to improve, just on not a county level, but a state level as well, where we have moved from a red zone to an orange zone. And as those transmission levels drop, it's going to allow all of us to do more than what we're presently doing. So I'm extremely optimistic that, and I'm being told by people who on a national level that expect schools and everyone to be pretty much back to normal by the fall. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and I believe that that will be the case. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the President's Report. Just wanted to probably hit the other hotbed issue that's out there, which is mask mandates. I know the mask mandates, some of those restrictions were being lifted today by New York State in certain circumstances for fully vaccinated people. Unfortunately, schools are not included at this point. Something that I think the superintendents and Board of Education have been advocating to hope to loosen with the state. And at this point, that has not happened, but we will keep everybody updated in case these ever-changing rules change. That is not in our control, but we do continue to advocate for what we can get done. I'd like to also mention and thank the community for last night's election results on our budget. 77% pass rate. I think it's one of the highest we've seen in a long time. We were happy to present the budget with a 0% tax levy. So we were proud to present that, and we were happy that the community was supportive of that. I'd also like to congratulate Billy Castellane and Shannon Johnson on their victory. Looking forward to working with them. And I'd like to honor tonight Judy Green and Martha Bogart for your service. We will miss you dearly. We've enjoyed working with you. I know we have more time to be with you, but I just wanted to mention that from myself and from my fellow board members. Next on the agenda is the legislative update. Ms. Bogart.
I attended the Oxford meeting in May, and it was an excellent presentation. I'm keeping in touch with students throughout the pandemic, and it focused on students that needed more interaction with families, and the presenters were all of you Boces social workers and psychologists. They did an excellent job. Also, Darcy from Orange County Health was there. I can't remember her last name. I know her is Darcy. Oh, Darcy, thank you. She was there and presented from her point of view. And it was really, and I'm sure our psychologists have been doing the same thing that Boces has been doing, and that is keeping in touch with the students. And they found out that really in keeping in touch with the students, they were really working a lot to help the families as well. Oh, and I did send you all copies of it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maureen, for doing that.
Thank you, Martha.
Welcome.
Next on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you, President Pucci. Good evening, everyone. Just a few announcements to make. First of all, whatever building you're in, there'll be many activities which will be coming up, placed on the Goshen website, sent home to parents through School Messenger. We've already seen a lot of that. Our principals are hard at work at putting those things together. An example of that was the awards program last night. I left here about 5:15. Traffic was all the way down Scotchtown Ave past Scotchtown Elementary. So it was a great night, tremendous turnout. Mr. Carter, I know, walked up there. He made it, and there was well over 700 awards given out. So congratulations to the high school staff, the administration for a great job done up there. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the community for an outstanding support of our budget. My 12 years here, I was fortunate enough to have tremendous support in our community. We're 12-0. I feel good about that. Always great support. I'd also like to thank Judy and Martha for their 12 years of service as long as I've been here, and wish them the best. And also to our newcomers, both Bill and Sharon, good luck. congratulations on your win last night. And let's not forget our board president. He won another 3 years too. So congratulations to President Fucci as well.
Thank you.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Next on the agenda is the Assistant Superintendent for Business Report, Louise Lynch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before you tonight, you have the Cooper Arias Internal Audit Report. They took a look at the one area that we're required to do each year, and this year it was the food service fund. And there was a finding, if you took a look at the report, they identified that some of the meals had been missed. We were able to recapture the revenues for that, and we are putting a procedure in place to ensure that doesn't happen in the future. It wasn't a significant dollar amount, but it was fortunate that we audited it and we were able to catch it this year. The second item I'd like to report on is capital reserve update. There was a question asked about what capacity we had at the last meeting. And as I explained, we do have close to $4 million in a reserve for future capital projects. And we do have capacity for another $2 million. Give or take, there's interest factored into that. And then we would need to have the community support an additional resolution to expand upon that. Now I'm going to lead right into the next item, which is federal stimulus funding. We are still, I was just in on a webinar, I think it was yesterday. And there is a lot of information, but we are still waiting on the feds to really let us know exactly what we can use those dollars for. So that's still a bit of an unknown. It may parlay into that equation. In the meantime, as you can see from a budget transfer further down the agenda, land, it will be working with an engineer and evaluating our HVAC system. So we're kind of moving forward with all of it. We just don't have as much definition as I would like. And then the last item that I'll mention before we move on is, as you know, our treasurer is retiring in the end of June. She's an interim treasurer. We did do preliminary interviews, and I had a lot of information. We had 26 candidates, so we had a great pool of applicants. We had a lot of highly skilled people, and I'm happy. This position, as you know, reports to the board, directly to me, indirectly to the board. Maybe we can talk.
But we are still waiting on the feds to really let us know exactly what those dollars for. So that's still a bit of an unknown. It may parlay into that equation. In the meantime, as you see from a budget transfer further down the agenda, land will be working with the evaluating.
Next on the agenda is the Superintendent for Curriculum, Instruction, Personnel, and Technology Report. Mr. Carter.
And then
Thank you, Mr. Pucci. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to start off with our universal pre-kindergarten program. We continue to work on developing the program. At this moment in time, we have prepared a legal notice to go out, and we also have the RFP along with all the specifications and application pieces prepared. This is something that, of course, with board approval, we can get out and start moving. Again, in premise, we have a great idea of what we would like to do with the program. We'll just require a deeper conversation with our board, which we can do as soon as possible and get our notifications out. Once again, we do have 57 seats available to us at this point in time. So that is what we'll be looking to work with. And then additionally, I'd just like to mention that there are expansion grant opportunities that will allow us to secure monies throughout the summer of 21, 22, and 23. So we can expand potentially, let's say beyond 57. I'm not sure how much beyond. It's all, grant-based, application-based. But I'm confident that if we can get it up and running with the initial 57, we can expand beyond that as well. This will be a rather large process that we certainly don't want to rush, but there will be pre-registration requirements. There will be meetings to be had with, those facilities that are certified that wish to work with us, at which point we will choose to work with them. There's screening involved, a multitude of things that we can work through. But once again, I'm confident that we can get it up and running. Also like to mention that our middle school and our 3-5 building, of course, have completed the math testing and all necessary reporting through the Nextera CBT system has been completed. Just want to say thank you to our administrative teams in both buildings and all of those who have had a hand in programming the system. Certainly not an easy task, but it feels good to have that submitted. And off we go as we move into the science room. As Mr. Connor had mentioned, I had a great opportunity to take a nice stroll up to the high school and just put eyes on a great celebration. A lot of energy, a lot of fun, a lot of people around, and it was really nice to see. So just want to mention that the high school staff brought that energy. The faculty was there as a part of it. Children and parents were there with smiles on their face. A lot of ice cream sandwiches to be had. All in all, a good time. So it was really nice to see. Thank you to the high school, faculty, staff, everyone involved. And at this point in time, that is it for me this evening. Any questions?
Yeah, circle back on the pre-K. When do you propose you want to talk?
Tomorrow would be great. If possible. If not, we can organize something, Friday. But our goal would be to get our legal notice out as quickly as possible so that we're not, sagging back. It's not as though we're going to miss major deadlines, but there's just a lot involved with it. And although we want to be thorough with it, we don't want to waste time. So the quicker that we can discuss, no pressure, but the quicker that we can discuss, the better off we will be.
So just explain to me what needs to be discussed and what kind of process are you talking about here?
Well, I think we need to discuss the process of, the differences between doing things in-house and outsourcing. The finances that would be involved, picking the best option that works for us as a district. Also, I'm waiting for the RFP to be returned from Shaw Perlson. They did receive a copy of it. I had asked Beth to take a look at it, so I know she will get back to me quickly. To get that legal notice out there is probably the most important piece right now. But before we move ahead with that, I think it's important for us to all be on the same page with the details because, of course, we want longevity in the program. And although there are flexibilities in what we can work with and provide, I just think it's important for us to all be on the same page.
Do we need that back from before we can?
So the legal notice, it's my understanding that we can put that out because there is an amount of time that it has to be out there, 14 days. So it gives us some time to have that out there, get back what we need, because those that wish to respond have to request the specification sheets and applications from us, and then we can provide those, and then they will be returned sealed. And when the date closes, they will then be opened by our purchasing agent. So of course, Maureen Farrell and Louise Lynch have a part in this as well.
Yeah, the question is, got ready tonight, right? When we get back together again, we want to do a Zoom Friday or?
Yeah, I would love to be able to discuss everything in full detail this evening. However, I do have a couple of questions and just need to get a couple of answers before we propose, what would become a final product.
Okay.
So if you'd like to do a Zoom on Friday, we can certainly organize that. Just check calendars. I'll send out an email and we can all jump on together and walk through it.
Okay. Thank you. Any further questions? Thank you, Mr. Carter. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. I need a motion. Jeremy, Allison? Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the consent agenda as presented. All in favor? Opposed? There is no old business, so we will go to new business. 13.1, I need a motion to accept the results of the annual election and vote on May 18, 2021. Allison? Jeremy? Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts the results of the annual election and vote on May 18, 2021. All in favor? Opposed? 13.2, I need a motion to approve minutes for the regular meetings. Judy? Jeremy? Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the minutes for the May 4th, 2021 regular board meeting and the May 18th, 2021 special board meeting for the annual budget vote and board member election. All in favor? Opposed? 13.3, need a motion to approve agreement for special education services, music therapy services. Martha? Allison? Be resolved, the Board of Education enters into an agreement with Dr. John Mahoney from Creative Arts Therapy Works, PLLC, to provide music therapy services for students in need of such services for the 2020-21 school year as follows. $95 an hour for up to 10 hours per week. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the agreement. All in favor? Opposed? $13.4, I need a motion for the budgetary transfer as we start to evaluate our HVAC systems in anticipation of upgrading our air filtration. That's any motion? Any motion? Jeremy and Allison? I lost track. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the following budgetary transfer for HVAC systems evaluation dated 5/5/21 for $58,000. All in favor? Opposed? $13.5, I need a motion for a approval of a tax tertiary refund. Jeremy? Allison? Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the payment of tax tertiary judgment awarded to 60 Erie Street LLC. Town of Goshen, section block 106-2-16 and 106-2-17, as per the court order entered into the office of the clerk of Orange County Supreme Court on March 1st, 2021, in the amount of $2,851.12 for the 2018-19 school year, $5,808.39 for the 2019-20 school year, for a total of $8,659.51. Of the $8,659.51 that is due, $5,808.39 is payable to the county, plus any applicable interest, as these taxes were not paid to the Goshen Central School District. Be it further resolved that in order to fund said tax tertiary judgment refund, that budgetary appropriations for the 2020-21 school year be increased by $8,659.51 out of code A1964.400, and that the $8,659.51 be transferred to the general fund budget from the tax tertiary reserve as the offsetting source of revenue. All in favor? Opposed? $13.6, need a motion to approve participation in the Boces Orange Rocklin natural gas, fuel oil, and electric bids. Judy? Jeremy? Whereas the Goshen Central School District is participating with other Rocklin and Orange County school districts in cooperative bids for the purchase of electricity and natural gas sponsored by the Rocklin County Boces. And whereas the bidding procedures comply in every respect with the requirements established by the general municipal law. And whereas electricity and natural gas markets are highly volatile and prompt action is required to secure the benefit of the lowest possible rates. And whereas the delay in waiting for formal action by this board may result in the loss of bid prices. And whereas the board believes that it can establish reasonable limits on the power of the superintendent to act in the board's name and authority, subject to later ratification by this board. Resolved that this board hereby delegates to the superintendent of schools the authority to accept bids for electricity and natural gas submitted pursuant to the cooperative bid on the following conditions. The annual ceiling price for electricity is 8.5 cents per kilowatt. Help me out, Jeremy. The annual ceiling price bid for natural gas basis is $4 per BTU or less. The annual ceiling price for natural gas commodity on the NYMEX Henry Hub is $3.95 or less. And it is further resolved that the superintendent is to report to this board in writing within 24 hours any action he has taken pursuant to this resolution. And it is further resolved that this delegation of authority may be revoked at any time by the action of this board. All in favor? Opposed? 13.7, we need a motion to accept insurance recovery check and an authorization to increase the budget. This is a insurance check from a bus that was damaged and basically totaled. Need a motion? Judy? Allison? Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District accepts the insurance recovery from NYSER in the amount of $53,969.89 for the value of a 20-passenger small bus, which was involved in a motor vehicle accident and declared a total loss. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education authorizes increasing 2020-21 budgetary appropriations by a total of $53,969.89 to the account code A5510.210.08. The offsetting revenue account code A2680 shall be increased by $53,969.89. All in favor? Opposed? Subsequently, we're going to buy a new bus. So I need a motion to approve purchase of a new bus. Jeremy? Allison? Whereas on January 4th, 2021, a 20-passenger school bus was damaged beyond repair in an accident. And whereas the district received insurance proceeds in the amount of $53,969.89, less the deductible for replacement of the bus, with an associated cost of $53,969.89. And whereas the district needs to replace the 20-passenger school bus as soon as possible in order to allow for effective and efficient transportation of children, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby authorizes the purchase of a 20-passenger school bus to replace bus number 256 that was totaled on January 4th, 2021 in the amount of $53,969.89. Am I good? What do I call it? That's it, eh? Everybody ready? Huh? No, I'm drawing a blank.
Motion.
Yeah.
Motion.
I got the motion, right?
No.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
I was drawing a blank.
Oh,
All in favor?
sorry. I was trying to see where you were going.
I was going nowhere. I just had like a brain fog,
I
man.
was trying, I didn't.
I lost my track. I forgot where I was. All those in favor? Opposed?
It's good. I thought you were just.
That's your
I
only.
said
I got one job.
One job.
I lost my place. That is
I
funny.
didn't know it was that simple. I thought it needed.
Once in 3 years, not bad.
Yeah. That was funny. 13.9, need a motion to approve district-wide closing for May 28th. Jeremy, Martha? Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves a district-wide closing of offices on May 28th, 2021. All in favor? Opposed? I remember that then.
You're out of track.
I'm back. That was weird. 13.10. Need a motion to approve independent internal audit report prepared by Cooper Arias. Louise reported on this during her report. Thank you. Need a motion? Jeremy and Allison. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts the internal audit report, agreed upon procedures for food service dated April 2021, prepared by Cooper Arias LLP. All in favor? Opposed? 13.11. Need to approve the corrective action plan for the independent internal audit report by Cooper Arias. Need a motion? Judy and Martha. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the corrective action plan for the internal audit performed by Cooper Arias LLP related to internal controls over employee paid and unpaid leave of absences for the year ended June 30th, 2020. All in favor? Opposed? I got 13.12 addendum. And a 1313? Am I doing 1313 too?
Yeah.
Okay, I have two addendums, 13.12 and 13.13. I need a motion for 13.12, overturning findings and penalty. Jeremy and Judy. Be resolved that the board hereby overturns a short-term suspension in the matter of student number 051921 and directs that the student's record be expunged of all references to the student disciplinary proceeding of May 7th, 10th, and 11th. And be further resolved that the board president is hereby authorized to sign the board determination on behalf of the Board of Education. And be it further resolved that the board clerk is hereby directed to mail the board determination to the student's parents. All in favor? Opposed? And I have 13.13. I need an authorization for expenditure of funds for senior class activities. Jeremy and Allison. I was just reading it. Be resolved that the Board of Education authorize the expenditure of funds not to exceed $18,000 for the purposes of end of the year senior activities, including but not limited to prom, chaperones, and security, caps and gowns, and police presence for a senior car parade. All in favor? Opposed? Next on the agenda is board member issues. Next on the agenda is a motion to close the meeting. Allison and Jeremy, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you for coming and watching. Everybody be safe, and we'll see you next time.